morning. Today we're going to make some cultured butter. Now if you don't have access to any culture, you can just make your butter plain. So, and it's the same technique, it's just today we're going to add some culture to it. I buy some pure cream. You do need pure cream. You can't buy cream with additives and preservatives. It does have to be the natural form, and it has been pasteurised. Some brands don't work, so you just have to do a trial and error. I use one, I've tried another brand, and all you get is a very hard cream. But this particular brand that I'm using is quite good. It's always worked for me. And last night I opened it up and I put a little bit of culture in it. Now you can get powdered cultures from cheese supplies. It's a little powdered culture. It's a generic mild cheese culture. Just about any other culture will work. If you don't get access to that, go and buy some buttermilk. Make sure it's got a very good use by date. Make sure your cream has got a very good use by date. And buttermilk is actually milk that's got a starter culture added to it. And just tip about a tablespoon into your cream, or a little tiny sprinkle of the culture into the cream. Close it off and just give it a shake for about a minute. Now what you really do need to do is leave it on your bench in the kitchen for about 24 hours, 12 to 24 hours, and that allows the culture the bacteria of the culture to go through your cream, and it will give it a nice flavour. So last night I did that, and now it's down to room temperature. It's probably about 20 degrees. If your room is a little bit colder, it's probably going to take a little bit longer for your butter to be made. The colder the cream, the more effort you need to put in. Now you can put this in a mix master, but I do find that shaking it by hand is actually a gentler process for the butter, and you get a really nice end result. Find yourself a container that has a very good seal. If you don't, you'll find that you'll get a beautiful cream facial, and we actually call that the Morgan effect. So tip in your cream that's nice and sort of warmish. Make it so that you have a lovely bit of airspace there to allow that cream to shake around in the container. Seal it well. If you're not sure about it, add some water and give it a shake and just see how much water is going to spurt out at you. And then whenever my children see me do this, they run for the hills. It's a great workout. It allows you to eat as much butter as you want because you're going to get rid of all of that excess fat, sucking in those abs and giving it a good shake. Now hopefully this doesn't take too long. What will happen is that your cream will start to thicken. And that's it there, it's thickening that cream. And just when you think that that cream won't do anything else except be thick, keep shaking and you hear that sloshing sound. Hear that? That is actually, the cream has thickened, transformed into butter. That's the yellow is the butter. The liquid is the buttermilk. It's a cultured butter, therefore it's a cultured buttermilk, and that's finished. Now, there's a lot of things you can do with this. Once don't overshake it. Once you hear that sloshing sound, stop. Check to see if you might need to shake it for another minute, but once you have that yellow butter, you're basically finished. Don't overshake it. Now, the idea is to have some lovely clean containers and to spoon out your butter and to get rid of the buttermilk. Now, it's a bit difficult to bake with this butter. It's mostly for table use. But you need to get rid of that buttermilk. Come in closer, Claude. You can see the buttermilk is still in there. And the idea now is to get rid of as much of that buttermilk as possible, because it will actually taint your butter a little bit earlier than what it should, unless you're going to use it in a couple of days. Try and get rid of as much as possible. And it might take you longer to do this process than actually making the butter. So it keeps draining out. Keep pressing it down. Keep draining out your buttermilk. You can actually wash it under cold water. And the more you actually get rid of that buttermilk, the better your butter will be for baking. I've read where you can put it between 2 sheets of baking paper, roll it, and keep washing it if you want to use it for baking. But I like just to have it on my toast in the morning, and I'm not bothered about the buttermilk being in it. So I'm just going to neaten this up a bit. If you want salted butter, now's the time to add it. I don't like to add things to my cheeses or my butter. I like it just in its natural form. So I'm not going to bother doing that. This is great to give out for presents too, by the way. People that have never tasted a really good cultured butter before, that are real foodies, would love to get this as a gift. So you can see I'm still tipping out that buttermilk, but I am going to stop now. So the buttermilk can be saved for cooking. You can actually freeze little cubes of that buttermilk to make your next batch of butter. So you can use your ice cube maker, put your buttermilk in it, because now that's a cultured buttermilk, and then when you go to make your next batch, just pop a bit of that frozen buttermilk into your next lot of cream. Give it a really good shake once it's dissolved in the cream, and then that's your next bit of cultured butter. So now the next thing is to label it, because you need to know when the use by date will be, and that will be in about a week to 10 days. So make sure you write the date on it, what it is. So this is cultured butter. And today's date. Same with your buttermilk. And today's date. And that's it.